What's up, you guys? Moto Chris is back on the Yamaha R3. I know that this bike is probably the reason why most of you subscribed, and to be honest, I love it, man. I know I said that I'm never gonna get rid of it. It's not just because I have a YouTube channel surrounding it. It's because I actually really do love it. And so coincidentally, today's video is going to be about this bike today right here, and if it's worth putting money into. I've had a lot of people comment on the last video I made talking about the mods that I'm making to this bike, telling me that it's not quite worth it, that it's a temporary bike because it's a 300, and that I should instead save the money that I would be spending on upgrading this bike to buy a bigger bike. Let me start by saying this: the R3 is not for everybody. The reason why I chose the R3 is because I love to ride tight, twisty, technical roads. I've told you guys this a ton in my videos. Let's be honest, it's not the fastest bike out there, especially in a straight line, and I've said that a ton too. The reason why this bike is so fun is because of how light it is, and because of how easy it is and how comfortable it is. Not every bike that is fast in a straight line has that to offer, that has the same looks as this bike does. For example, my brother's CBR 600RR, that bike is an absolute rocket, but doing the riding that I like to do, it would take me ages. It would take a ton of balls for me to actually be able to do on the CBR the things that I'm able to do on this bike. Simply because, you know, if I want to chuck it around a corner going 60 miles an hour, that's a lot scarier to do, believe it or not, on a 600 than it is on this bike. I know that it's a race bike and I know that it's meant for that, but your skill level has to be at such a different level than it is when you're riding that bike to do the same things that you're able to do on this bike. This road that we're gonna go to right now, it's a road that's really fun to ride, but on top of that, it's really close to me, and I've done it on the CBR, but it's scary, man. Is it worth getting an exhaust for it? Is it worth getting aftermarket rear sets? Is it worth getting aftermarket levers? All those types of things. For a lot of people, I think this is just a transitionary bike from learning, becoming an absolute noob, to becoming an intermediate rider, or at least getting the grasp a little bit about what you're doing on the motorcycle, and then transitioning to a bigger bike like a 600cc Super Sport, or sometimes even a liter bike. So this bike is basically used as a stepping stone for a lot of people to get the bike that they actually want to start on. While I can understand that perspective, I think it definitely depends on the rider. I obviously like riding tight, technical, twisty roads like this one right here. For the kind of riding that I want to do, this is a perfect bike for me, and that's not going to be the case for everybody. Hold on, I gotta slow down for these. Oh wait, there's nobody here. Okay, cool. Man, I do have to slow down. Are they blocking off the road? Oh man. I come by here like almost every day, and these same guys are always here. Even though I think it would be cool to have a bigger bike, I have my brother's CBR to ride around. He'll let me borrow it if I ever want to take it out for a day where he's at work or something like that. And honestly, to be frank with you, on most days, I'd rather take this bike out simply because it's so much more comfortable, and I feel a lot more comfortable riding it, especially on roads like this. This bike is so awesome, man. I absolutely love it. Oh my goodness. Thank the Lord. I thought I was gonna get my first ticket on this bike. There's a perfect example for you guys. This bike is fast enough to get you in trouble. Let's get away from him, actually, just in case. This bike is plenty quick. 300cc class is completely different than the 600 and 1000 liter bike class. Reason being is because of how light and nimble it is. That is the reason why I'm gonna buy, you know, aftermarket levers, why I'm gonna buy some rear sets, why I might even get an exhaust for this thing. When I come out and ride this road, it's still fun on that 600, but it's a completely different experience on this bike right here. I feel confident, I'm comfortable with the bike, it's predictable, and on top of that, it's comfortable while I'm doing it. That 600 puts me a little bit on edge. I don't have as much balls riding this road on that 600 as I do on this bike. I think simply it's just too fast. You know, this bike I can ring out every single gear. It's a lot of fun to shift through those gears. But on that 600, I'm basically just limited to first, second, and maybe sometimes even third gear on the straights. The straights are more fun. You know, I'll give it the 600 that. But the corners are 10 times more fun on this thing and 10 times more satisfying. For me to be able to do on the CBR what I do on this bike on a road like this, my skill level would need to be like way up here instead of right here where it is. You know, and if I did what I do on this bike on that 600, I'd be riding way too dangerously. I'd be putting myself way too far at risk than I'm willing to out here on the street on a motorcycle. Now, if I lived close to a track, then yeah, sure, you know, like, fuck it. You know, I'd have a CBR, ride it to the track, spend a day there, and ride it back. That would be perfect. And this isn't to say that I don't like 600s. I love them. You know, I've spent like 3 full days with my brother's CBR 600 CBR, with my brother's CBR 600 RR, and I love that thing to death. But this bike has a special place in my heart. If you're somebody that is getting a 300, but in your heart you want a 600 or a leader bike, then yeah, it's gonna be a temporary bike for you. And I say it's not gonna be worth it to upgrade a 300 because, you know, like you guys are saying, you could save that money up and get a 600 instead. But if you are someone who likes tight, technical, twisty roads like what I did back there, and you want to really hone in your skill set, this is what you should, you know, this is what you should start on. And not only start on, but dude, put some money into this thing, man. This thing is awesome how it comes, but with a can in the back, you know, some aftermarket rear sets to make it a little bit more sportier, maybe some lower clip-ons, a sprocket change, definitely a sprocket change to give you more power in the low end. You're gonna have a completely different bike. It's gonna be the same bike, but it's gonna be an evolved version of that, and that's what I'm excited for. That's why I'm putting money into this bike, because I feel comfortable with it. I love it. You know, I could ride this bike for, you know, 2-3 more years as it is and still be content with it. You know, I'd probably get like an FZ07 or something like that, but I am so excited for the mods that are coming in this bike, man. So in conclusion, is it worth it to spend money and upgrade a 300cc sport bike? Put it this way, if you have a 300cc sport bike right now and you don't feel like you're having fun on it, because trust me, you'll know if you're having fun on that bike or not. I'm having fun on this bike right now. I've been having fun on it for the last 6 months. You'll know if you're starting to get tired of it or not. And you know, take it from me, I've ridden the 600. Yeah, I've ridden bigger bikes. I know what they're like, but I also know the kind of riding that I like to do, and I also know when I'm having fun or not. Being scared and having fun are 2 completely different things, okay? If you've been riding a 600 for a while, or if you've been riding a 300 for a while now, and you've stopped having fun, maybe it's time to get a bigger bike. You know, maybe it's time to upgrade. If you find yourself riding on the highway, drag racing cars, and doing things like that, going to bike meets, going to the canyons, highway canyons and stuff like that, to the track, maybe it's time to upgrade. But if you're having fun on your 300 still, and put aside all that peer pressure, of people telling you, dude, come on, get a bigger bike, dude, come on, your bike is slow, like, you can't keep up with us, dude, put aside all of that. At the end of the day, what really matters is that you have fun and that you're happy and being safe on the bike that you're on. Go ahead, keep it, you know, ride it around some more. Ride someone's bike with the 300 that has a sprocket change. You know, feel that bottom end torque. If it was up to me, I would have gotten the KTM RC390. Because like I tell you guys, you know, it's perfect for these kinds of roads. You know, it doesn't have a crazy top speed, but it's okay because I'm not really into that. And it's got that, you know, real hunkered down position that's good and gives you control for, you know, real tight stuff like this. You know, that's what I want. But I didn't go for it because of the reliability issues or the rumors surrounding it that, you know, if you get it, it's gonna blow up on you. You know, Yamaha is secure. Yamaha, for the most part, is pretty well known for having reliable bikes, which is why I chose this bike. There it is, guys. You know, I'm putting money into this bike because I really do love it. You know, a lot of you guys have been telling me that you're gonna get tired of it at some point, and honestly, I don't see that happening. Even after riding the 600, you know, if anything, after riding that 600, it made me appreciate a lot more what this bike really is and the package that really comes along with it. It's a completely different animal, man. Completely different bikes for completely different riders. And on top of that, it's a great bike to learn on. It looks good, it's comfortable, it's easy to ride, and you can ride it hard, man. You really can ride it hard. Honestly, I don't care what kind of bike you ride, it's gonna be honestly really tough for you to push this bike to its limit. We're just pieces of meat, man. We're dumb compared to the capabilities and, you know, the capabilities and the things that are possible on a bike like this. It's ridiculous, dude. So I wouldn't say that I'm outgrowing the bike. I would say that I'm growing with the bike. My skill is growing and the bike is accommodating my skill. You know, the bike still has tons more room for me to improve. The only thing that really needs to improve for me to really become a better rider is me. You know, the bike is already here. The only reason why I'm upgrading it is to make it more fun. You know, to make it look better, to have an awesome sound, and, you know, kind of handle better in the curves and make it a little bit easier for me to commute in. There it is, you guys. If you guys have got any questions about this bike, feel free to comment them down below. I know a lot of you guys watching don't even have a motorcycle yet, so feel free. You know, I've ridden the 600 and I've ridden the 300. I've ridden both bikes on the completely opposite spectrums, so I feel like that's a valuable perspective to have. If you guys have got any questions, feel free. Comment anything down below. I read every single comment out there. I try to reply to all of them. What's up, man? That's a cool bike. Follow me on Instagram if you'd like to keep up with the mods and the things going on in my life with this bike. You can also message me on Instagram as well. I'm meeting up with a guy here at the end of the month who lives here in Denver, and he's actually getting a 2019 R3 just like the one that I have. I think he's getting the white one, but he asked me, hey dude, I'm getting a bike at the end of the month, would you like to come witness it? And I was like, dude, I would love nothing more than to see the look on your face when you jump on that bike and ride the first couple of feet. I would love nothing more to see the look on your face, because to me, I know it was such a beautiful, life-changing moment, man. I can't wait for that, so stay tuned. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!